Okay, now that you have your email account created, we need to get subscribers, and that means you need sign-up forms. You can see that we are already logged in, and from their dashboard on MailerLite, you can go straight to sign-up forms, or you can also click up here to go to forms. And if this is your first one, you'll just see that you can create an embedded form, which is what I suggest that you start with. There are ways to do pop-ups and different things like that, but for the very basics, let's get one on your website so it's always there. People can find it. They're not going to click close and not be able to find it again. They're always going to be able to see it. So this is definitely where we want to start, is with an embedded form. And we'll just call it email sign up, something generic for now because it's just our basic one. You can have different promotions or different offers or different places that you want to do them and do them differently like that. But for right now, we're just going to keep it general. And you will probably have your default, subscriber group is the term that they use here. This is just the list that these people who sign up will be added to. You might have multiple if you are getting, into doing different things, but I'm going to guess that starting out, most of you are just going to have the basic one, and that is fine. So we're going to check that and continue. Okay, now here is just what their absolute basic subscriber form is going to look like if you don't do any customizations to it. However, over here on the side, you can see that there are quite a few different things that you can do. So for example, this background, you can change the color of that using the color selector here. You can move this up and down, move within that. Oh, actually, that's the total background. So anyway, I'm going to leave that white for the moment. And you can see here we have different choices on the layout. You can customize, again, if you know how big you want it to be on your website, you can change that. Depends on where you're putting it as far as to how wide you want it. If it's like in a sidebar, it would be short, narrower, versus the main content, or again, if you have something next to it or using columns, you can add a border. Then you can choose your border color. Again, similarly playing around. If you have actual branding done, you might know the code for the colors that you want to use, and you can just type those in if so, such as that didn't take. There it is. Okay. And you can see that, the border might help draw more attention to this. You can change how thick your border is. Oops, did that take? Border radius. Oh, there we go. There's the one where you can change how thick it is. And that doesn't seem to work, but ideally that would change your alignment. Hit save. You want to change the text here, just click on it. And newsletter is kind of generic and not that motivating. This is where I would start with, what is your opt-in offer? If you are offering them something, lead with that. Whatever the best reason to sign up for your email list, do that. If you've got coupons or deals, or maybe they get a free gift the first time they come, or you have a drawing, or you can check out the website, and I've got lots of ideas for how you can help decide that if you haven't decided that already. But anyway, definitely want to lead with that. You definitely want to have a call to action that's encouraging them to sign up. Then once you type out all of your information, again, you can use some different styling options here, but we're just keeping it simple today. We're going to hit save, and that'll take you back to being able to change any more of your customizations, like your button color. You can even have the button change colors when it hovers by changing this one. Again, you can increase the font size to make it stand out more. You can change the font color, again, based on that. Even what font you want. Let's see. And over here under settings, you have a few other options such as the confirmation checkbox. This would be if you are worried about GDPR or things like that. You can use this checkbox to help guarantee that people recognize what they're opting into. I just encourage you to make your wording clear, and that's also usually fine as long as you're clear that people are subscribing to an email list. They will be getting ongoing emails from you, things like that, and you're very clear about it. I don't usually use this, but again, you need to make your own decisions on that. Sometimes you can get into more complex things, and then this would be an option. Marketing permissions is also, again, you can see along the GDPR lines of things, which would, yeah. I guess maybe this one would be if you are offering a freebie and then you want to opt in to do other things, but again, we'll talk about that in other ways. There's better ways to do that. And then I recommend having a custom success page. You'll have to create that within your website or whoever manages your website for you. But this is a great way for being able to track with things like Google Analytics, to be able to track, you know, if somebody came from social media like Facebook or Pinterest, or if they came from a referring website. You can see which one of those people are signing up for your email list when you have a success page. We can get into that in another video, but anyway, you don't have to do it today, but I would definitely recommend getting that set up. If you are worried about spam, you can add the reCAPTCHA, so that way you make sure that it's real people signing up for your email list and not computers that are just trying to spam you. And we're going to keep it simple for now. I think I'm actually going to turn that off. Once you have saved that, you come to this page and you have a few more decisions to make. A double opt-in means that they are going to get an email sent to them where they're going to have to click on that link in order to join your email list. There's pros and cons, of course. The biggest pro is that you know that everybody who is on your list completely understands and wants to be there. They have clearly confirmed. Nobody has put their email in by mistake or things like that. The downside is that it will reduce the number of people who actually sign up. Somebody might be triggered to do it on your website. They might sign up, but by the time they see that confirmation in their inbox, they might forget to click on it. They might change their mind, things like that. So it's definitely going to improve your list quality, which is always a good thing. It might reduce the list quantity for various reasons. You know, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes, you know, it might not, but you can make your choice on that. Here we can just see that preview. Confirm everything. Then down, well, let's see. Oh, you don't need the stats yet. Okay, so down here, we're going to click on the code that you're going to need to copy and paste to put it on your website or send to the person who manages your website for you. Depending on how your website is managed, you may want to choose the HTML code. It's very long, as you can see, all of this code. And I'm going to keep scrolling a whole lot more. Anyway, you can simply copy that, paste it on your website. You only have to deal with one page, one spot. Most websites give you an easy access to posting HTML code. So that's definitely an option. I'm going to go ahead and choose the JavaScript because I'm going to be putting this form on lots of pages. And so it just seems easier to have a very small amount of code that I'm pasting where I need the form. So, but as you'll see with this, they're asking you first to insert the snippet on every page of your website right before the closing head tag. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this to the clipboard, and I am using WordPress for where I'm going to copy this, and I'm using a Genesis theme, which has a very easy option here under my theme settings where I can add header and footer scripts. So right before the closing of the head, I've scrolled to the bottom of my code, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in there and publish that code. Then I'm going to come back, copy this little bit of code. I'm going to go to my widgets, and I need a code. I am still using the classic editor, and I don't remember what this one's called. Just going to go ahead and drag this up here where I want it. And I'm going to use the text so I can paste my code in here. Again, this is not a WordPress tutorial, just showing you an example of how you would do that. That was my old form, and this is not my new form. So I'm going to okay, actually I was replacing the form for the sidebar. And as you can see, the way that it fits over here, I'm not sure that I love that. So this is a great example of being able to go back over here, and I went back to this page. I'm going to hit Edit on Design, and I'm going to shorten this. Let's try. That might not be any shorter, but we're going to test it and find out. And next. And I'm going to scroll down, grab my code. This code probably did not change. I don't know if this one changed. Oops. Let's see. I'm just going to refresh my page because I accidentally did something there. Yeah, I accidentally put some code there that I wasn't supposed to. Well, you know what? I'm not going to change my code. I'm just going to try refreshing and see if that changed it. And it did. So you do not have to change the code, or I mean, when you make updates, you can just come back to your form. You can just hit edit if you need to make a change. So there we go. And that's it. We've got the form. People can sign up, and you are good. If you have more questions, check out the website, and link will be in the comments below, and there's lots of helpful tips and tutorials on getting your email working great for you to get more feet on the table.